new factories open, expansion of your car plants. You've never done this well, but you're sending that big message to the rest of the country. It's so important. You got to get your friends. You got to vote, because if you lose, it sends a really bad message. It just sends a bad, and they will build it up. Here's the story. If you win, they're going to make it like ho-hum. And if you lose, they're going to say Trump suffered the greatest defeat in the history of the world. This was the greatest. You can't let that happen to me. And you know what? You can't let that happen to your incredible state, Kentucky. You can't let that happen. That would be a disaster for your state, because you'd be losing an incredible governor, but you're going to have a great victory tomorrow. With your support, you have to go out and vote. We will show the corrupt Democrats that the American people are not backing down, and we will never, ever back down.
This week on It's Happening Out. Was Epstein murdered?
Well, Dr. Bodden was actually hired by Epstein's family to do an independent...
Celebrity recap. Halloween. The mooch on impeachment.
For impeachment and removal, and I predict that as these things become more public...
Delta censors LGBTQ plus content.
Delta, even though they've said this.
It's all happening out tonight.
They've got a piece of this.
Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guest host, Nick Harris. With your host, lifestyle expert Napoleon Blade. Trans activist Aaron Phoenix. Reality TV star, Chef Josie. DJ Diva, Power Infinity. DC Log Cabin Republican, Joe Brookman. And our moderator, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, good evening, America. What an exciting moment for a lot of the gay community in America. Our president opened the show tonight at It's Happening Out.
Great job.
At
Always winning.
At his Monday night rally in Kentucky. You can't let this happen to me. And apparently Kentucky did, because they've lost the governor's house in Kentucky.
Round of applause.
A big...
Yes.
But while that's sad, an important fact has been overlooked, and that is Kentucky has, as lieutenant governor, its first African-American lieutenant governor in the history of Kentucky.
Oh, I didn't know that. Very
and
nice.
that was not celebrated.
Very
and it
good.
should be celebrated.
Well, it was overshadowed because of President Trump coming
he's a
to
Republican
Kentucky.
too, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
Just,
all right,
just
great.
want to make
all
that,
right.
sure, make that clear.
All right, well, welcome, America. This is another Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, means it's happening out. And we have an exciting show for you tonight. First up, before we get into introducing our special guest with us tonight, normally we tell you about how we're doing in terms of you watching. Next week, starting next week, our monogram of It's Happening Out will be changing. And we will be changing because of the results of October. Our monogram at It's Happening Out next week will begin the world's most popular live gay TV show. We have been designated in all of the major social media platforms as a television broadcast, and as a result, they are reflecting the significant strength of the growth of It's Happening Out. And October proves it. We are getting ready to announce that in October of 2019, a gay digital media product does great when they've had 200,000 views in a month. That is fantastic. It's Happening Out in the month of October had 2.5 million views. Thank you, America and the world, about what's going on at It's Happening Out.
Well, please still like, subscribe, and share.
Yes, exactly. We keep moving on. We keep moving on. We take the bow now. That's it. We're done. Now, let me introduce one of our special guest hosts this week, and that is from the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, Nick Harris.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we welcome Nick. She is very special. She's the coordinator in South Florida for the HRC.
He is.
She is for the steering committee.
Yes.
And very important in the state of Florida, Nick is the only LGBT appointed full-time employee for one of the cabinet positions in the state of Florida. Commissioner Freed. Nick is the first person ever appointed by a cabinet member in the state of Florida representing the LGBT community. Significant all in and of itself. Nick, welcome to It's Happening Out.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are very excited to have you here. America,
You guys will be too, I promise.
of course,
Can't wait
as
to
you
hear.
know, we recently hosted the HRC CNN
Yes.
LGBT Town Hall. The press director of the HRC opened the show, and as Nick knows, because Nick was present in Los Angeles while we were doing it, we had an astounding streaming audience at It's Happening Out of more than 800,000 watch the LGBT town hall. So amazing. We're thrilled that Nick is with us tonight. So we remind you that we're coming from Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We affectionately call this place the gayest place on planet Earth. And we're broadcasting from Wilton Manors and Wilton Drive right over my shoulder with my cohort here, Chef Josie.
Yeah, right here from the little chic, hip, fun oyster champagne bar on Wilton Drive called Bubbles and Pearls.
Bubbles and Pearls. We love this. We have a live audience with us tonight.
Yeah,
Oh,
and-
wait, Josie, who owns Bubbles and Pearls?
Well, myself, I got some silent partners, and of course, my wife is always here.
So wait,
Marcy.
come here for
Yes.
some. Is it fair to say come here for a fresh shucking?
We love you, Mark.
Yeah.
Fresh shucking.
Suck, yeah.
All right.
And of
Board
course,
games are fun.
host at It's Happening Out. Stay at the Best Restaurant on in Fort Lauderdale and I-95. Believe me when I tell you, they really know how to make a girl feel fab. So
Yes.
you guys check them out when you guys are in town. It's really, really a great steak.
America, I have to tell you, you might not recognize our host sitting in seat 6, but this is Power Infinity. And Power Infinity is, I wish you could see these fabulous shoes that Power's wearing.
Throw
If we
your
ever
leg
take a
up.
picture of
But
Wow.
it's too difficult because Power drives down from Central Florida the
Easier for us to
first
get her feet up in the air.
week of
It would have been
Wait.
easier if I had to spread both of them.
what?
the first wait. We're off to the races. Right.
Good way to say it's a nice time to like, subscribe, but please share us. We want to make sure that we get to your audience, your friends, and there you have the ability to have this watch party. So take a look at this video we prepared.
All right, watch this.
When viewing our live show in your app, please click share. After clicking share, your screen should change and you can then click watch party. On the next screen, you can write text to your viewing audience and then click start watch party. You've done it. Enjoy your party.
Good job.
Okay, listen to Daddy now. You can also watch us on YouTube. Subscribe. Stay up to date with all the with your community, all the events and notifications. Like us on YouTube.
Right, absolutely. Now, at 7 o'clock, we remind you we have a new show, and it's completely different than It's Happening Out.
It's all about the things to fun.
That's right. Thanks to Fun. We do it live at 7 p.m. We've just finished the show. We hope you'll come back to it. And Napoleon and I did it, and we had a guest host tonight. And guess who that was?
Hey!
It was Chef Josie. Let us show you what we did tonight at Happening.Fun.
Tonight, only on Happening.Fun. We are attractions. We are casino events. We are nightlife. We are festivals. We are concerts. We are Florida events. We are movies. We are sports. We are live performance with your host, Napoleon Plays. with your moderator, Al Ferguson. Celebrities and interviews. Tony Bennett. Madonna. Let's plan ahead. Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade. New Year's Eve Key West Shoe Drop. Out and About. Smart Ride 16. Circuit Festival Miami. Around Florida. Disney Studios Galaxy's Edge. Epcot's Food and Wine Festival. The Fun 5. Megamix Beer and Music Festival. Veterans Day. It's all happening tonight on South Florida's most popular live source for things to fun. Only on happening.fun.
That was so much fun tonight. Madonna did a little video piece for the show. It was really exciting. Make sure you come to happening.fun and see that. Let's move on into two big events that happened this week. First, this Friday, November 8th, is Intersex Day of Solidarity. And It's Happening Out makes special note of this special day of solidarity in the intersex community. We've prepared a little video package for that. Watch this.
From its introduction as a medical term to its rebranding in the 1990s, the word intersex has been reclaimed by activists, and it's a word that challenges how doctors treat intersex bodies. Intersex is an umbrella term that refers to people who carry variations in their reproductive and sexual anatomy that differ from what's traditionally male or female. An intersex person can appear to have one kind of genitalia on the outside and another internally. They might have some XX chromosomes and some XY chromosomes. They can have ambiguous genitalia or not, and know at birth that they're intersex or find out later on. The bottom line, intersex is a word with a broad meaning, and we've only been using it this way for the past 100 years. In the late 1980s, the intersex movement began to percolate. Intersex people who had been subject to secrecy about their medical records and made to feel ashamed of their bodies began organizing groups and circles. In 1996, intersex activism became more visible. The first ever intersex demonstration was held on October 26, later becoming Intersex Awareness Day. Today, intersex is still being reclaimed by people as a way of challenging how doctors have treated their bodies. Intersex people continue fighting non-consensual surgeries and are seeking legislation to protect kids from these procedures. Intersex is entering a new terrain as a human rights issue to allow people to make choices about their own bodies.
Well, everybody at It's Happening Out salutes this National Day of Recognition. Any thoughts about what's going to happen this week? Anyone? Anything?
Sounds like no. I mean, we're here to pay tribute to it, to give a little bit of honor to it. So let's do that. Let's be respectful.
It's also interesting that there's been a recent event in the news where a father and mother are in the courts about their 5-year-old child going through conversion. It's unclear whether it's an intersex child, but it sounds to me like there's an intersex child, and one parent wants to raise them as a male, and the other one wants to raise them as a female.
Interesting.
Any opportunity we have to raise the awareness around
And educate.
and educate. This is what we celebrate.
There's a second big event going on in November. I think it's a fascinating one. The entire month of November is called Movember. It is a salute to those in awareness of testicular and prostate cancer. And it's a commitment to the prevention of testicular and prostate cancer.
So the idea of it is to not shave then for the entire month. I remember I first heard of this and before I could grow facial hair. And the idea at the end is that you see the result of all the people that are participating to raise awareness for it by not shaving for the entire month.
You know, I asked the host.
Amen.
And did
You've been there for a while.
Yeah, that's you.
Let's go.
Are
Let's
you
throw it,
following
boys.
it so far? We're to the 6th of November. Are you?
I am probably not, but I will make sure that I have lots of different beard options, a nice little mustache available.
Well, my father died of prostate cancer.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and this hits home for me, though. Unfortunately, I can't participate because I don't grow.
You don't grow any
I don't
facial
grow any
hair.
facial
Yeah,
hair,
yeah.
And you're
all
also
right.
going to look 20 for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
This is
All
very
right.
true.
America, when Napoleon was talking about, he's shaved. I think you probably shaved today.
Yeah.
Don't worry. don't worry. Napoleon is absolutely supporting the awareness for testicular and prostate cancer, because one of the other things going on this week, or this month, is in support of the cause, absolutely having no ejaculation in the month of November. And Napoleon is supporting
true.
that function.
I decided this month that I will understand Al's struggle the rest of the year by making sure that I stay.
Damn it!
You know that someone from Top Chef,
We're gonna put that chastity belt on him?
Chef CJ, he was on multiple seasons with me, actually. He was he suffered, or I don't know how to even actually say it,
Right.
but
Suffering would be correct.
Yeah, he suffered from testicular cancer, and he had one of his nuts removed. Okay,
Yeah.
is that insensitive, guys? You guys look like all right. I'm not the most
All right.
PC.
Well, we're
on
recognizing the awareness in the month of November. Let's move into the meme of the week. Every week, we put at the top of the show interesting memes that are taking place in social media.
And our Republican always has a problem.
And this week is another one. Here's our meme of the week, and it's about the Clintons. Here we go. Clintons, they can't suicide us all.
How true, how true.
Well,
all right, that's our...
we've certainly failed our quota of Republican memes for the rest of the year.
Nick, the person from the HRC, only has the soundbite. Ooh, ouch.
I felt automatic.
All I can say is...
Okay, all right. And let's
that's
talk
definitely
about something a little different, and that's the best thing of the week. Each week we bring you a video that you might not have seen. We have an interesting best thing of the week this week. It comes to us from Brazil.
Ooh.
That's you.
Okay,
And
it's
about a trans operation. And what happened was there was an upper trans operation. And the person was very concerned about the response that they would get from family and friends, both straight and gay. And when the trans person post-operation came in, this is what family and friends did. Watch this.
Você recebe amanhã, você recebe hoje mesmo. E você sabe que nós somos nós, já acabou. O resto é resto. Uma merdinha dessa, já sabe que tá se amassando. E é isso. É isso, mano. Pra que amor maior de uma mulher?
I absolutely.
That was amazing.
I'm telling you, if my tear ducts would work, I would be crying.
That's the gift every family should
Yes,
give their kids.
absolutely. There were
Support
straight
and love.
people,
Support and love.
family members, old, young, everything was involved in that.
Really beautiful.
Last thing that we want to celebrate right at the top of the show is Monday. Now, perhaps in the gay community, we don't pay attention to it as much as the rest of the country, and we bring attention to it and it's happening out. Monday is Veterans Day. And Veterans Day, Monday, November 11th, is very significant to the gay community because you know the history we've had in rejection of service, and then don't ask, don't tell, and then the process of acceptance, and then a dramatic change in the philosophy.
That's why the leather community has its own culture. It was coming off of World War II and needing that codified male bonding way of interacting.
Yeah.
It's crucial.
We prepared this, and we thought it was interesting to talk to gay service members on their feelings about what has happened in the military and specifically about Veterans Day. It's interesting. Watch this.
I knew I was gay long before I joined the Navy, but you know, for my security clearance, I wasn't about to say that I was gay. If I did, and my chances of getting in the Navy was zilch.
The damage that the society does to us is all on the inside. You learn never to trust anybody.
I served under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and I wasn't out technically, and when I got in, it was different though. It was still a little hard not being able to be open and honest with the people that I was working with.
I put my personal needs and desires to the side to be the best Marine that I could be.
My so-called friends found out about me and that I'm gay, and they kind of said, well, you know what, we'll go ahead and keep your secret a secret, but there's some things you have to do for us. And my little bit of time in being gay was a bigger punishment than breaking the sexual harassment policy of the military.
When I got out, it was like the fear, this overwhelming weight that was constantly on me of getting found out and getting kicked out. So to have that burden lifted off of me was incredible breath of fresh air. That lasted for about 2 days before I was like, wait a minute, what do I do now? Because all my brothers, I still couldn't tell them. I still couldn't tell them anything. I was ashamed to tell them. I was ashamed of myself.
I think a part of that is, for me, has always been kind of talking and, sharing what I'm going through, being open with myself and others, having that support group. But I feel great. I feel better than I have in years.
So now I can be me. I can enjoy life, period. I know the direction which I want to go, not where someone else is leading me. And I can help the people that I want to help. And I know that I don't have to do this alone.
Well, everyone at It's Happening Out, salute our veterans and our Veterans Day, and we appreciate the service that you've given to your country. Joe brought to my attention an interesting poem that he has brought tonight about it.
Yes, I'm in red, and I'm wearing poppies. Poppies has been designated for the Veterans Day for many years, and it comes from a poem after World War I from a poet in Belgium where there are miles and miles of crosses. It's called In Flanders Field. So let me read a bit of it for you. In Flanders Field, the poppies grow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up your guard with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders Field.
Beautiful. And as everyone knows, we salute our veterans, but we especially at It's Happening Out make a note to our gay veterans and servicemen, both and women, and our trans partners that are serving in the military and have served in the military. As difficult as the service process that we have had, doubly so for the gay community and the LGBTQ plus community. So we celebrate Veterans Day on Monday, November 11th. So let's do something fun. We welcome Nick
men in uniform
to It's Happening Out, and we do it in a fun way with a game called I'd Swallow That, Nick. And you're getting ready.
Yeah,
and,
I see that.
And Nick can see,
I see, thank you.
Nick can see off stage what you don't know yet, or actually a lot of people already know.
Yeah.
Now, we always make the joke that Ellen has the lawn boy, RuPaul has the pit crew. At It's Happening Out, we have the I-Ho shot boy. So let's play it. His name is Alexander. We're going to play I'd Swallow That. Oh, I-Ho.
I-Ho. I-Ho.
Alexander.
Alexander!
You know, every time that...
Yes, round of applause.
Alexander, wait one sec. Wait. You moved fast. Oh, I'm going to do this one? Okay, all right. Thank you. Alexander has beautiful arms. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying.
You should see him on the pole at Johnson's.
Right? Alexander works at John. Oh, I'm going to do
Live
that
and
tonight,
that
actually,
pole
with
boy.
you.
Okay.
Right. All right. Here's how it works. I swallow that. I'm going to ask a question, America. Play along with us. If you agree to the question, your answer is agreement, you take the shot. If not, you don't take the shot. And that's how we play I Swallow
let's get
That.
started.
Here we go.
Nick, we're getting loose around here.
I swallow
Really, I
that.
didn't really.
Wait,
He's been loose for a long time, I promise you.
Wait, doesn't this happen like every day in Tallahassee? I mean,
No way.
No.
I do say this. My day job is my gay job. I'm gay for pay, but this is not
You're gay
usually
for
a
pay?
part of it. I'm gay for pay, literally.
Wait, you're gay for pay.
I'm gay for pay.
There's the soundbite of this
Yes,
show.
I love
Okay,
it.
I love that
Let's
too.
follow that.
All right. Commissioner Freed, we're loving
Oh
your
my God.
LGBT.
This is not a toast to my boss right now.
All right. We're toasting your boss, Commissioner Freed. All right. Question number 1. I'd swallow that.
Alrighty.
I tend to trust new people in my life way quicker than I should.
Oh no.
Yeah. When I first met Al, I gave him way too much trust, and it's just that's actually turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm a puppy. I trust really intensely. Who else took a shot?
Yeah.
No.
You
No
didn't-
one?
You
I did.
don't.
No.
It doesn't come easy.
I could drink half of it. I'm in between. It's about your energy. If I get bad energy,
If
I'm
I
like,
could
I'm
tell you
done.
every gay person that I've ever met that said, "Oh, I could do half of it."
I have a number of friends
I'm gonna
that
say no.
they watch
Yeah,
out
I'm
for
not
me.
comfortable.
Yeah, do you?
Because they go, no, Joe, no,
All right.
no, stop that.
I personally am practicing trust, so I do it intentionally. And if you screw me over, it is just what it is. It's a part of the practice.
Right.
Because I'm not going to change being a trusting human being
Yes.
for everyone else in the world who
Trusting
might
is
Yeah,
choose
no,
to
no,
be
I don't.
evil.
I don't trust easily at all, and that's
Now
something.
you're gonna
that-
trust you with my wallet.
I don't
I don't
trust
you with my
anybody
car.
with nothing. And that comes from when I was even a little kid. I always had that trust issue. But I will say that for me, because I am so guarded, my friendships are few, but they're very genuine
that's
and
right.
very
I
long.
agree.
Fierce. That's how I would describe Power's friendship. All right,
That's
let's
my-
move on.
my
And
favorite
playing
word.
I'd Swallow That means we're moving to question 2, which means we call Alexander back going, "Oh, I-ho, boy."
Oh,
Hey.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't drink this drink, but
Where's
I want
the shot
Alexander to come
girl?
over here, so I'm just gonna take it.
Is there no shot girl here?
Not right now.
Shot woman?
Oh, it's such a shame.
come on.
It was on.
I want a shot
It was
woman.
on the show last week and next
second
week.
man.
I want to see Mook
Really?
Every other weekend, you're not.
All right.
I can
Okay,
acknowledge
right.
a
Here we
second
go.
man.
Question number 2. I'd swallow that. I think that in the age of hookup apps, it is. That first shot. It is harder to find true love. It's difficult to find true love because of the hookup app age.
I don't know. I recently learned that Gus Kenworthy found his true love via social media. So I'm tempted to not say yes to this and just to say, Gus, call me.
Napoleon. Napoleon, come on.
Any athlete, you're right. I don't have to. It doesn't have to just be
I am
Gus. It could be
sitting
anybody.
next to a world-class hookup appster. World-class.
You can find me on that. It's true. I'm on Grindr. I'm on
Hello.
Contact, I'm on basically everything.
Yes. Would you like to give out all the addresses now?
You can find me at 555.
Power, I'm curious. You took the shot. You think it's tougher today?
I deep throated, huh?
You think it's harder today?
I do think it's harder today because I think that today we have, basically drive-through sex and drive-through hookups.
Yeah.
But I do also
I hear
say,
judgment there.
Huh?
I hear judgment.
No, that's not judgment. It's true. I mean, it's just very convenient. It's very at your fingertips, and it's basically drive-through hookup, which is fine. I'm a Bathhouse Betty, so I don't have a problem. But that being said,
Are you Chick-fil-A or Popeyes?
Oh, Popeyes. But I will say this: I do believe that when love is meant to be, it's gonna find you. It doesn't matter.
No matter what.
Okay.
Wow,
I met my
An alley,
partner.
a bookstore, it doesn't matter. When love finds you, it's gonna
It's
find
good. I found my partner on a hookup site.
Did you?
I did,
Yeah.
and it was true love. So
Oh.
I have to say,
How long have you been together?
2 years now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
Very
how
good.
Marcy and I met.
You You met a hookup
look at
app?
that.
We sure did. It was like OK Cupid, man. We're a success story.
Wait.
So the women are successful. See, there you go.
Well, that's only because the stereotype I hear
Oh God, no.
is that you meet each other and you instantly get married.
No, I hooked up with a few. Okay.
All right.
Marcy,
It
stop.
took,
All right.
it took her 6 weeks to get that U-Haul.
I see. All right.
All right.
Let's move on.
3.
Question number 3.
Nine
I
months.
swallow that. Question 3. Alexander, Idaho boy.
Idaho, whoa.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Nick, he's shaking.
Not
You're
interested
not
over
even
there.
looking
Yeah.
now.
You're like, oh, it's a pretty artwork
I'm
around
allergic.
Oh, look at his butt.
I'm allergic.
You gotta look at his butt.
I'm good. Thank you.
Question.
Hey, hold on.
I'm good. I'm
Hold on,
done.
Alexander. Did you show the Johnsons?
Oh, he's going to do that in the last. Question
okay,
4.
okay.
All right. Question number 3. I'd swallow
He just
that.
wanted to turn around for it.
I wish I could take back something that I said or did while filming live on It's Happening Out.
Half sip.
Yeah.
Does coming on
That-
I'll do a happy.
Coming on here.
That counts?
Wait, you're saying you wish you could take something back, which is even appearing on this
I
show?
think so now. I mean, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love you all.
I am. Oh, you.
We just need to get the shot girl next time,
I'm
clearly.
definitely taking this shot because I've said it before.
Really?
One night, I had an encounter here with Andrew Brett, and oh gosh, I wish I could force it all back into my
You wish
mouth.
you could. What?
Really?
Wait, okay. Wait.
Andrew,
Wait. You wish you could force an encounter with Andrew Brett back into your mouth.
Yeah, well.
Alrighty, we'll use that for the soundbite for this
Yeah,
week. And
okay.
this show is done today, everybody.
Anybody regret anything?
He
You
definitely-
regret nothing?
He would definitely swallow that.
Yeah.
I
You-
only took a half shot because I don't regret anything that I've ever done. I just wish I could do it a different way.
Yeah. In other words, you wish that the grenade would have been an atomic bomb. Is what you say. Okay, I got that.
Or
and you don't
muffled
regret
or whatever.
anything?
I mean, there are a couple of things that I've been told, like falling and stuff. But if I could remember them, then
Oh, wait. No, wait.
I
no,
don't know.
wait. But Power and I are
That
getting
was
ready to toast because we were
Halloween.
present. You wouldn't take Halloween back?
He said he couldn't remember it, but we always have Jared Curry
At
here.
Jared Curry, run it back.
So we can refresh your memory.
We need a
could
rewind.
next Wednesday.
Rewind.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't take that back?
I would not take that back. I'm a strong believer that everything that happens to you happens for you to learn from, and I would not be here if it
I
didn't feel I am right now.
I agree
Thank
with
you.
you. And I wouldn't want to take it back either because I would love to see that rewind.
I want to see it
Over.
rewound. Power.
Can we get it
Wait.
to tuba music, maybe?
Wait, Wonder Twin, in
Trombone?
terms of asking Jared to run that next week, Wonder Twin Powers
go.
activate.
Pour 'em off an ice douche.
All right. All right. We're going to move on to question number 4, which means our final request for Alexander this evening. Oh, Idaho boy.
Idaho.
Oh, yeah. The
There we
Johnson
go.
is nice.
Work it.
Stuff, my
Work
favorite.
it, Alexander.
All
I'm telling you
right.
guys, you have no idea.
All right. Here we
Mr.
go.
Alexander is primo.
Then I want to see the helicopter.
Primo.
Now, we thank
I wanna see the
Alexander
helicopter.
and our friends at Johnson's right here
Yeah.
on Wilton Drive.
And let me tell you, as a
LGBTQ
woman,
community is weird.
they are sweet on the eyes and they are sweet in the heart too. Okay,
Right.
they are good boys, and
That
they're
little
just like
hesitation.
creating the fantasy
America,
of your dreams.
Coming
I
from the person who wants to
continue-
find true love in sex. So,
America, I
Probably
continue to
not.
tell you,
Delicious.
you're delicious.
Alexander
Alexander
says he's
says off
delicious.
stage,
I'll
we're
have to
delicious.
sample that.
Do you agree?
America, I tell you, if you haven't been to South Florida, this is completely different than New York or Boys Town
Yeah.
or West Hollywood.
Absolutely.
This is the gayest place
And
on planet
it's hot all
We
the
are
time, so
gay.
people want to get naked.
All right. All right, let's go to question 4. I'd swallow that. Here we go. I have
I almost took this shot just by the way. I forgot we were playing a game.
I have pretended to know something and then quickly Googled it versus admitting lack of knowledge on the subject. Now I'm going to watch Power closely.
Oh, a half? Oh, a whole. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, all righty.
Yes, especially when I'm reading somebody on Facebook and they say something. I need to pretend like I know what they talking about. Yeah, honey.
Power is one of the most prolific social media observers observationists and opinionators I have ever seen. How do you master all of that information?
Shade.
I was about to say, it sounds like a read.
Nobody else? Nobody? You
Yeah.
took the shot?
Yeah.
You Google.
I Googled. Listen, guys, I'm not even going to tell you my story, but this whole life is a learning experience.
Yeah.
And you know what? I am not ashamed to tell you that I don't know something. You know how many hours of therapy it took me to say that I don't know everything? You have
Speaking-
no idea.
Speaking of that, Napoleon
That's
didn't
real.
drink. So apparently,
Napoleon alone, child.
Wait, have I been too much on you tonight?
You could never be too much on or anybody.
On you? Too much on you? I don't know.
Hey, stop. In
No,
other words,
I agree with Josie. Say when you don't know something, and also literally a phone is in your hand at every moment.
Yeah.
Stop being a Republican and get the news out there correctly.
There is no excuse to be knowledgeable. That is
Wait,
excuse.
what did you just say, Napoleon?
right.
Stop being a Republican.
And get the news out there correctly.
That's what he said.
And listen,
We
we're
know
what
our
he
facts.
said.
We're not fake
You
news.
just don't say them out
hold
loud.
on.
We know our facts.
We continue to hold ourselves small when we sit there and we tell ourselves that
All
we're
right.
dumb and we're not smart enough. You go ahead, use Google, okay? Don't be ashamed.
I'll swallow that.
all right, here we go. All right, that's our game. I'd swallow that. We play it each week. We hope you enjoy it. Next, we're going to move into Happening Now. And Happening Now is breaking, trending news as we speak. There is several things that we're talking about. And just quick notes that we're going to make. First, the Trump tax appeal. The Southern District of New York has announced they've won the case that the Trump business organizations must reveal 8 years of tax returns.
Until the next
Finally.
executive order.
The Trump organization is appealing it to the Supreme Court. What do y'all think about the big news about the taxes for the Trump organization?
I think it's no news at all.
It isn't?
That's surprising coming from me. I think it's no news at all.
Really?
I will start dancing in the streets once the Supreme Court decision is handed down, and then that's the final say.
Okay, so you're willing to just sit and wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Any
think-
other
I think
thoughts?
It's going to be they're going to focus on what is the reason for the disclosure and for the period of the disclosure, because most times that period and full disclosure is not something that would go to a grand jury. It would be only portions that are relevant to the case.
Let me
So I
make
think you're
the
gonna lose that.
observation, America.
I think you're gonna lose that.
I think President Trump's in trouble. And I think President Trump's in trouble because the lawsuit was very sophisticated to go after Trump organizations, which means he does not have presidential privilege
Boom.
through the organizations. And I do not, that's what the Southern District ruled on, and I do not even think that the Supreme Court's going to take the case because of it. We'll see.
I think so
but
too.
I think he's in trouble.
I think the other thing to note is that I don't even understand why we have to go through all this. I mean, did not Trump say he was going to be transparent? He said that he was going to release his tax returns. You did say they're going after the organization. But I mean, if Trump was as transparent as he claimed he was going to be, he wouldn't need to try to tie them up in court.
Yeah.
to get
Wait, Nick.
One last thought.
You are a lawyer. You are so certified in that knowledge. Do you have any opinion on this at all?
My thoughts on this is I think it's going to be a slow process. I also think that chances are we may really get to lock him up after he's out of office.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth.
Exactly.
I think this process is going to take a long time to play out.
And on that, the problem that we're having is the system is broken, and that's why Donald Trump was elected, okay? The system that we have to go through in order to come to justice in any area. I mean, this is going to be a longer conversation.
hell
I'll
are
drop
you
it.
talking about?
I'm going to drop it right here.
Oh, I think
but in
so,
order to
'cause
get
this
to
is just-
in order to get to justice, the process to get there is unsurmountable.
Speaking of the process,
All right. The second It's Happening Now breaking trending news that we want to tell you about is how we open the show tonight. The governorship took a dramatic turn. If you remember in 2016, President Trump, then candidate Trump, won the state of Kentucky by 30 points. Kentucky was solidly blue. Mitch McConnell, ever heard of him? Well, the process of the governor's race in Kentucky was decided first. Last week, about 10 days ago, The major national polls showed the incumbent Republican ahead about approximately 5 to 6 percentage points. President Trump went to Kentucky for the rally that we showed you a piece of at the top of the show on Monday night, the night before, saying, Kentucky, don't let me down. We know now, going to be challenged, going to be recounted, but the incumbent Republican has lost the governor's house, and it has become Democratic.
And we will also challenge that because I have a different set of polls that said that he was behind by 20 points. And he came back 20 points after Trump's.
Even if you said that, even if that's true, it's not.
It is.
But even if it's true, the president has lost, in terms of his credibility, a 30-point swing in 3 years.
No. That has done Kentucky. Well, you also have to look.
There's only after Kentucky. There's only West Virginia.
You also have to look at the governor, and he was the most unpopular governor in 50 states.
No problem. I don't want to get into this.
He got more unpopular after Trump came to Kentucky and talked him out of office.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that one.
The point is,
so come on down and talk. I'll break Scott.
Let's try right to the point. Let's try right to the point if possible, Joe. You don't think that the election yesterday has any red flag warnings to the Republican Party? Kentucky's governor's race has no consequence to the 2020 election at all.
I think it means you have to be careful, and the Republican Party needs to do its best, especially in some suburban voters.
Okay.
You know, I'd like to add something. You know, the problem with Trump and Trump's campaign is this. Trump has a very secure hold on his base. This is true. He's very popular in his base, but his base is not growing. We still have the opportunity between Democrats and independents to grow. Trump's base is not growing, and this is the problem, and this is what we're starting to see in these races.
And I see the reverse. I see his base.
Party is growing?
I see his base is growing.
It is not true.
Especially among
Let me give you the example.
No,
This
I
is
don't
a
see that at all.
statistical. I know I'm going to, perhaps Joe's going to say that's fake news. I'll put it out there, and then let's come back to it next Wednesday. Here is a fact. In the Kentucky election yesterday, more than 25% more voters voted in the gubernatorial election of Kentucky yesterday than in the last gubernatorial election. 25% more.
We're coming out Republican.
It wiped the Republican advantage in Kentucky out. The proof, then, is that point is absolutely true. The Democratic or anti-Trump vote is growing dramatically.
As a matter of fact, voter turnout was the most that it's been in that state since 1986. But Jared Curry, please make sure to, and I'm going to look in the camera, make sure to run this back next year. If Trump loses, the same type of...
Not if,
when Trump loses. When Trump loses,
yes.
This same, the same failure to concede the race and a whole big drama that we're
You mean
seeing
like
right now
Hillary?
Right.
Oh my God!
Oh my
God.
Who cares? Hillary did not do that, did she?
All right.
She did not do that. So when Trump loses, we're going to see a whole big rigmarole because he's not going to want to concede his loss.
I'm
aware of your joking again.
Like most GOP men, he doesn't know how to take no for an answer.
Even Hillary. Okay, so
I'm going to give you
final
final word.
My challenge for next week is
Do
that
not
we,
say Clinton.
Or next year.
No, next week.
Okay.
Is that we all come together and we put together a time capsule about what our intent and our prediction is for next year. A time capsule.
For what?
A time capsule. Bring something in your prediction for next year. We'll
that's
seal
really,
it up.
That's really good because we'll all either be right or the Earth will be burning and there will be no time
Nick
capsule.
and I are looking at each other in the eyes going, what the hell's going on here?
Well, I'm assuming he's a comedian. That's what I thought. I mean, honestly.
All right.
No.
That's what's happening now.
You're kidding.
That's what happened in Kentucky.
This is
Those
bad.
are the big
This is
breaking
bad
news.
news.
Exactly.
Democrats
All
in Kentucky.
It's going to be an interesting year. By the way, it's happening. It's happening out 1 year from this week.
How many
1
remember
year,
Johnny
the
Carson
clock.
in the Great Question?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move into celebrity hot topics. A lot of news this week in celebrity. We're going to move through it really, really quickly. First, let's do a recap of Halloween. We want to show you some of the best celebrity Halloween costumes that took place
Fun holiday.
over the weekend. It's a fun holiday. We first want to give, and we want to show you pictures. Honorary mention. The Kardashians West family. Let us show you that.
We're gay. We have to mention them at some point.
Yeah, we're gay, and I'm contractually
That's cute, man.
obligated
That's
by
cute.
the Kardashian empire to mention them.
I just want to know.
Hey, guys.
I just want to know if Kanye's in the
I'm
dinosaur
keeping up with the
outfit.
Kardashians
Right,
only because
okay.
my sister makes me
That's
do
really
it.
funny.
Here's number. That is a funny joke.
Think of
Here's
Kanye
number.
as a dino.
Here's number 5. Number 5 is Nicki Minaj as Harley Quinn.
Okay.
All right, there's
Would
Nicki.
somebody tell me who Harley Quinn is?
All right, no. After the show, Joe.
The Joker's
After the
crazy
show.
boo.
Oh.
Come on. If you've
All right.
the best way to be attracted to a woman is to watch Margot Robbie play that character in Suicide Squad. Because
absolutely.
Jesus,
She
oh my
was
God.
amazing in
Okay.
that too.
I-
All right, let's move on. Halloween over
Lots
the
of good
weekend.
ways to do
Our number 3 is Deborah Messing as
Oh,
the
wow.
Joan of Arc.
No.
Oh, I'm
wait,
number
wait, wait.
4.
Deborah
Cardi B.
Messing's looking a little different this week.
Wait,
Oh, that's
America,
not-
I'm
no, that's
losing
This can't tell a black person apart,
I-
not even if it's a white person. Come
losing
on now.
We all look alike.
I know,
That is
child.
no.
Here we go again.
Look, he's blushing. I love
Here
it.
we go again.
I miss a slide, and that is racist.
Wow.
Joe, do I have any allies
It was
here?
the red hair.
Wait, now you go to the Republican after the racist comment. Of course.
Always reverse what we do.
Here we go again.
I surrender. All right, number 4 is
Here we
Cardi
go.
B as Poison Ivy.
Oh, actually, fun fact: Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn in the new show are actually dating out loud. They are
Oh,
an
really?
LGBTQ couple.
Oh
that
my
are
God.
together.
All right.
I just
I
wanna-
watched
I
that
just
show.
wanna
Any
know if
comments
those-
on her Poison Ivy?
I want to know
What?
if those
She
tattoos
looks,
are real.
she looks cutesy or whatever. Let's get on to Deborah
Yeah.
Messing.
All
right.
Real.
Yeah, she does look good.
Now, finally, we move to the white girl. Number 3, Deborah Messing as the Joan of Arc. All right? I don't get it.
Like, I don't get it. I don't know
no.
how she can be number 3.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's all.
That's enough.
That looks- I'm sorry,
Next,
it's
finally,
Next.
finally.
She did look kind of party scene.
Neil Patrick
Yeah.
Number
Harris.
I thought
2,
that
Neil
was
Patrick
step
Harris and
Ooh,
family.
I love
famous
it.
artist.
I don't
Van Gogh,
do you mean
Dali,
you don't get it?
Frida,
He's
Did
like-
you know all of those artists?
and Andy. Are you kidding?
No, I meant like, did you go to them when they were first painting? Did you help him cut off his ear? Is this another
Oh,
mic drop
my
moment?
goodness. No.
You want to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
During the National Enquirer publication of Who's Gay and Out in Hollywood, do you know that Neil Patrick Harris and myself were pictured together?
Oh, my goodness.
So,
All right.
For those of you that are interested in
Money
Dolly,
shot.
I have,
We're not.
I
Thank
have a
you.
replica
Who's
of
number
Salvador
one?
Dali's sofa of the red lips.
Okay,
It
great.
goes with my red grand piano.
Come on.
Oh.
You could be wearing it
Great.
on your back right now. We would- All right. Now, before you show the slide, let us show you this Halloween the number 1 celebrity costume. And that was Heidi Klum as a flesh-eating alien.
Yikes.
Now,
That's a
this-
good costume.
Huge.
Okay,
Yeah.
that bitch is back.
She
Yeah.
never went away.
Yeah.
Every year she does something
How old is
incredible.
she?
You know why she had to do this? She lost her seat on The Voice, or on the America's Got Talent. So she's still trying to be out there.
Let me tell you something. She's still sexy, okay?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
is.
that's
She's
Heidi
an
Klum. I
amazing-
don't think
Are
she
you-
has to do
Are you
much.
turned on
Come
by
on,
that?
yeah.
She's got
I have a girlfriend, so I can't answer.
Got to be
that.
late.
Oh.
Look, she can't,
You're not
of
at
course,
that
it's Heidi
stage.
Klum.
Klum, come
She
on.
doesn't even have to do
I mean,
anything.
come
on.
She's Heidi Klum.
Heidi Klum
By
would
the
jump
way-
out of my body in that.
Question.
Come on.
Question.
Yes, yes.
Would you two do her like that?
What do you mean?
Like that.
Do her like that.
Would you
Like
have sex
that.
with her like
Hell
that?
yeah! Are you kidding me?
Have sex with
Guys.
Heidi Klum like that, or don't have sex with Heidi Klum?
I know
See, I'd
Napoleon
have to
would.
ask
I'll
a
rip
lawyer
that face
question.
off.
Is it really Heidi Klum under there? And I
would-
know I could take it
I
off.
know
or she looks
Napoleon
like
would
that.
because Napoleon's all about.
What do we
the
have
pretty.
rules?
Oh, no.
guys?
She could definitely strangle me really well with some of that that's going on there.
Yeah.
I don't
All
know.
right.
That's
Napoleon
All right.
would be
I
with
wanna
her.
I wanna move out of this.
That's
we hope
pretty bad.
everybody had a great
Please.
Halloween. It was a lot of fun. We did lots of parties here in South Florida. You got to come down here.
Oh my
The
God.
events
Flesh eating.
in
That's
South
a
Florida. are
So
amazing.
much
for me.
fun.
Let's move on in celebrity hot topics to talk about Caitlyn Jenner. Haven't heard from her in a while.
This 2016
Thank you.
Kardashians, Caitlyn Jenner.
She's getting ready to do the British reality show, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. She was paid $600,000+ to do it. They'll drop her off in the jungle or whatever it is that they're going to do.
That's appropriate.
Any thoughts? Is this a big deal? Do we care
please get
about
her out of
Caitlyn
here.
Jenner?
I'm over it. All she does is go after, like the Kardashians, go after celebration and fame. She's
Okay. Anything else? All right. We move on to celebrity topic number 3.
Sounds like we're good.
Rachel Weisz. Did I pronounce that right? Weisz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel Weisz is going to play Elizabeth Taylor in the biopic, focusing heavily on the years when Elizabeth Taylor started AMFAR, the
looks like
first
my wife.
major gay event. She does.
What was she does?
Love.
Rachel's a great actress.
AMFAR was the first
my wife is
major
beautiful.
AIDS organization, and Elizabeth Taylor was the leadership of it.
That's how she got to have that title as being someone that was so outspoken for.
In the gay community, absolutely. Any thoughts about
Little history.
Elizabeth Taylor?
Just a note is AMFAR was created under the Bushes. It was a Republican
Oh,
president.
really? It was. I did not know that.
FYI.
What is it about a clock that's stuck without
Let's
batteries?
move on
being
to-
used by-
Curry, play that back.
Let's-
Okay, that's a bookmark.
Let's move on to celebrity hot topic number 4, and that's about Ricky Martin. Have you heard? Ricky Martin is pregnant again.
Woo!
Ricky's pregnant. He's getting ready to
Now,
going to have his 4th
Oh,
child.
no, please.
That's right. What do y'all think about Ricky Martin still pumping them out?
I don't know. Ricky Martin was just at our national dinner in D.C., which is a great plug. Come to our dinner in
Yeah,
South
the
Florida
HRC
in
National
January.
Dinner. Has anybody done the HRC National Dinner, by the way?
Who's done? Me? Elsa.
M-
Yay!
Multiple times.
And we have a South Florida dinner in January.
Yeah.
Come
Oh,
to our
great.
dinner on the beach. at the
Apparently,
Ritz.
my invitation got lost in the mail.
No, you just got it
Oh,
right
I
there.
just
Just
got it.
got it. The
Right,
whole
okay.
panel.
Good recovery, dude.
There we
Ricky
go.
Martin's song there. I'm gonna be there
Box
live.
office tickets.
I'm interested to know, did Ricky Martin adopt his child, or did he have it through surrogate mother?
I think he just has a lot of people volunteering for him to be their daddy.
What?
I think he just has a lot of people who say, yes, Ricky Martin, be my daddy.
To be honest with you, I don't know that question. I'll have to find out. 'cause
Listen,
I
he's
don't
an
know.
activist. You know, he's a humanitarian. He's out there being visible for our community. He's living a very bold, courageous
I think
life.
I think the most important question. Let's do a little flash poll. I'm gonna create a logo for this. Just a yes or no, please. Flash poll. Do you think it's important in like Ricky Martin's situation? Is it news that he's going to have another child? Is that news to you? Yes or no?
It's not really news to me.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Not really.
No.
Yes, because this is his 4th, and I think it's amazing
You
that
know-
he's got 4 kids.
America, you know the problem. Go ahead.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
add this. The reason I said yes, I don't care about his personal life, but he's a gay man that's visible, and representation and visibility matters. So anytime you can see our couples having children,
That's
and
an interesting
that matters.
observation.
We need role models outside of Ricky
Yeah,
Martin.
but when we
but
constantly
I love
bring
the
up Ricky
beautiful
Martin,
family.
That means it's like it's saying everyone else who then has kids is less important. I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of what.
Let's move into celebrity topic number 5, and that's about Delta Airlines. Everybody's been on a plane, especially the longer planes you watch the organized movies. They get edited for the airline. Well, interestingly enough, Elton John's Rocket Man was edited significantly, and what they edited was all the gayness out of it.
So
Oh my God.
Newsflash: Elton John is uber gay.
Is Elton John in the movie at all? How do you edit him out?
Well,
is it 5 seconds long?
Yes, but any implications, kissing, the sexual innuendo that's in the movie. There was quite a significant protest, and I believe we have a video that we're going to show about what happened here with Delta. Watch this.
She also urged airlines to stop working with third-party companies and to trust parental advisory warnings. What do you guys think? Like, should airlines edit movies?
One of the things I want to bring up is that Delta, even though they've said this is the 3rd time they've
I
been
was just
accused of
gonna
this.
say that.
They got accused of this during Carol. They took out a bunch of stuff in 2015. They got accused of this during Rocket Man. They hid all of Elton John's sexuality in that movie. And then now this is the 3rd one. So and Virgin did not do the same thing.
Yeah.
American Airlines did not do the same thing. So this is a Delta issue. And it's a little like
Very interesting.
annoying that they're acting like so surprised. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe that this happened. I'm like, well, this is your third accusation.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's gone public, and this is since 2015. We're almost in 2020. So you've had 4 years, and you
Yeah.
still have been
Yeah.
apparently going to the same company that thinks that homosexuality is something that needs to be edited out.
Well, America, interesting in the observation here. I can't vouch for the facts that you just heard, but the allegation is this is a Delta issue. Virgin Airlines didn't do it. American Airlines didn't do it. Because Delta's doing it, and they reversed themselves, by the way, over protest. They came back and they put back what they cut out of Rocket Man. What do you think about what's going on in Delta? Is this important, or do we care?
Yes, it's very important. First of all, isn't Delta the same airline that dragged the man off the airplane and the video went viral? Wasn't that Delta?
I thought that was United.
Yeah, I think that was United.
I think it was United.
Yeah,
Well, whatever.
But Delta's
The
still
fact
bad.
of the matter is, it's 2019. What surprises me about this story is that it takes a backlash and it takes celebrities speaking out for somebody at Delta to say, "Oh my, we did the wrong thing." I mean, in this day and era,
come on.
don't you think that would just be common sense? That's the common sense God gave a billy goat. You just don't do that.
Okay,
That's
but
stupid.
let's be real here, okay? It is not just gay films. The airlines do this on almost every R-rated film. They edit out
Was
those
this
pieces.
movie R-rated? Was this movie R-rated? This movie was PG.
You can just whatever you want to on that, but it is a consistent practice across all
is not
films.
Are you saying
That's not
again?
true.
Are you
It's not
saying
consistent.
that the equivalence of R-rated being not family friendly is the same thing as being
gay?
gay not being family friendly?
That has nothing to
That's
do with it.
exactly
Sounds like
what
what
you're
you're
saying.
No, it's not.
Yes,
No, it's not.
because you're just
No.
saying you're just equating R-rated movies that
I
Delta
don't know.
will censor.
I don't know what it was rated,
I'm
but I
telling you
can
it's rated.
tell
I'm-
you.
okay, well,
I
I'm
can
telling
tell
you
you,
it's rated.
having flown hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles, that they do it on almost all the films. and
No,
it
they
doesn't
don't.
matter
No,
whether
they
it's gay or
don't.
straight.
Non-family
Yes,
friendly
they do.
films.
No,
You're
they
saying that
don't.
non-family
They
friendly
don't.
films
So,
get
no, they don't. They do
Okay.
not take out kissing scenes on all the films across the board. That is a lie. That's
Either
a lie.
way,
so they took out
censorship is not-
out kissing scenes on this film.
Either
because
way,
the kissing scenes were
censorship
gay.
is not in the world that we're living in right now.
Right.
And if we're going to revert back to the days of censorship,
Oh.
then we need to really take a very close look at ourselves. And
I
every
think you just need
consumer
to get a
out there,
grip.
whether you're gay or straight, need to know where you're spending your dollar.
Just get a grip. That's
Gay
bullshit.
is family
I
friendly.
okay, and
Well,
I hear you.
Delta got a grip, and they
Know
got
where you're
themselves
spending
back
your
together,
dollar.
didn't they?
Wait, I would like to
Hashtag
try.
stay woke.
So no
I
need
would
to
like-
no need to defend Delta when they've already admitted that they were wrong by reversing. So your defense really is not valid.
And in addition to that, to all of these points, the one thing that I would like to explore in terms of what you said, one last soundbite of our conversation here relating to this, is if Delta made editing decisions in traditional movies where men were and women were aggressively kissing, etc., implied sex, but they don't edit it out, and they did it in Rocket Man because it was gay. Would you consider that wrong?
Yes, I would.
You would. Okay. I believe, honestly,
Those are the
that's
facts
what
here.
happened. I'm
Those
not.
are the
I can't
facts here.
vouch for your specific point. Let's move out of celebrity hot topics into headlines.
I got it.
And there are multiple. First, the impeachment inquiry catch-up. It's like a game. Do you have your game board in front of you of who's testifying and what they're saying, and how did they even revise their testimony? We reported to you last Wednesday that Thursday the House was going to vote on the impeachment inquiry. It took place. It basically split completely in party lines and authorized the inquiry. Only 2 Democrats voted no. Not a single Republican voted yes.
Take their names.
So, in summary, what do y'all think now? We've had 6 days to digest this. Where are we?
I think statistically we've seen that Republicans, at least, again, statistically, the likelihood that none of them actually would feel that way, Republicans have no backbone. That's the only thing I can conclude from this. It's absolutely absurd.
So Nancy Pelosi's desire and commitment to say that this had to be bipartisan isn't true anymore. She's
Listen, the
gone
truth
back
of the
on
matter
her
is
commitment.
the Republican Party is acting like a bunch of brats. They're not even engaging in the conversation. They're not willing to come to the table. Let's be really frank with each other. I'm tired of bullshitting everyone, okay? We're not bullshitting
that's what
anymore.
you were doing
These
right
are
now.
the lives of people that we are talking about right now, okay?
Who?
And the GOP.
What life?
is-
What life are you
it's-
talking about?
The GOP is taking
No.
my tax dollar
y'all are
No,
to
talking
they're
pay
not.
over each
their.
other.
Oh God.
No, they're not.
You're talking
I-
over each other. I want to hear it, but I can't hear y'all.
Like I said, the GOP is playing games right now, and they want to think that their job is not to come to the table. The table is the table. The table is where we come and we create solutions. It doesn't matter what our party, our partisanship is. No, yeah, you laugh about it.
I'm laughing about it because
you know
everything
what?
gets passed.
You can think differently and I can think differently. The point of the matter is if we're willing to come to the table and come up with a solution.
So everything
Okay,
that's
all right.
passed in the House of Representatives over the last year has gone and passed, and it has not had any bipartisan engagement. The Democrats have not gone across the aisle to engage anybody in bipartisan legislation. So they say to
So
the
it's gone
Senate.
straight-
Hold
it's
on.
straight to the Senate.
No,
thought.
shut up.
Straight to
Let me,
Senate.
let me
Let him
talk.
finish.
Don't tell me to
thought.
shut up.
Let me
Come on.
talk.
Joe,
Y'all.
let's get real clear with
Y'all,
each other.
come
Don't
on.
ever tell me to
Okay,
shut
guys,
up.
we're getting
Are
way
we
off
clear?
topic right now.
We're
okay?
I
we're
can if
getting
I
off
want.
topic.
You just need to put your
No,
finger
no, no,
down.
no, no, no.
Put your finger down.
I will get up off this chair and you will never tell me to shut up.
Well,
you will
let's
never
bring it back.
tell me to
Hang
shut up.
Josie,
You understand that?
Josie, stop.
Let's
Walk away.
I want to zero in on your point and see if we can provide clarity. To your observation that you just made, let's try to apply a time machine and move ourselves back to 2014. Benghazi, multiple things with President Obama. What happened in the Republican-held House and the Republican-held Senate is exactly what is happening today. How is that any different in the exact same commitment of what is happening today? When you talk about it's not bipartisan, why are they not doing exactly what they learned in 2013 and 2014 by the Republicans?
What are you saying is different? I don't understand what you're saying.
My point is, the Democrats learned this in 2013 and 14 and not allowing a Supreme Court nomination to even be considered because they had control of the House and the Senate. All I'm asking is if we could put it's happening out into a time machine and go back to that moment, all of them would be saying the exact same thing that you're saying right now. And my point is, what's the point? Because it's exactly what you and the Republicans did in 2012, 13, 14, 15,
No, it's
and
not.
16.
But it's not.
Why not?
Because nobody put forth a proposal to impeach Obama, did they?
But
gra-
in everything else, there was no
I
bipartisan.
gave you examples of the
No, there
Health
wasn't.
Care Act, of a Supreme Court nomination, of all kinds of different proposals where the Republicans stonewalled the president completely.
So, on the Health Care Act.
On everything.
Wait a minute. On the Health Care Act, they did not engage the Republicans
I do not
in building the
I
Health
do
Care
not
Act.
want to fall into the
They
Republican
didn't engage
trap.
them enough.
The Republican trap of peeling apart the observation of the topic. It is a
look over there.
specifically great distraction. My observation is the Republican-controlled Senate and House did this in 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 16, exactly what the Democrats in controlling the House are doing today. You not you personally.
But let me say this. This is what we know is this place is
Help
a
me.
swamp.
Yeah.
Because I think what we're going to get at, we're not going to agree. We understand people are playing politics. And at this point, I don't know that we could reach across the table because I'm going, if right now Republicans aren't even interested in shoring up our election systems, that's been rejected. It's not on the table. These are things that should be bipartisan
You're right.
efforts that they're not interested in.
Except your proposal for shoring up the election system was only done in a partisan fashion, and it was passed and so on.
Then why won't Republicans do it? Then why won't Republicans put it together?
They have reached across the aisle.
Please
to do
allow
this.
me to pause again to
Yeah.
try to get to truth. Your observation on partisanship, I would like to return to 2012, 13, 14, 15. Those Republicans that are talking about what's going on in impeachment today had exactly a 360-degree different view on the subpoenas on Benghazi.
That's right.
Exactly the same. Now, I am not criticizing the Republicans in 13, and I'm not criticizing the Democrats in 19. All I'm trying to get to is, why do the Republicans not see they're doing the exact same thing?
They do
Wait,
see it.
please,
They
I want
do
an
see it,
answer.
though.
Okay, so let's narrow it, because you started out broadly, and now you've focused it and said, so you're comparing responses of the Republicans to subpoenas by Democrats as what went on during Benghazi. Is that what you're comparing?
It's just one example. The Supreme Court nomination cannot come to the floor to vote. It was completely a party line decision.
Completely
the Supreme Court cannot be decided. We will deadlock the Supreme Court for over a year.
So
because you
that's
had
not-
51 votes in the Senate.
That's not the same as trying to impeach the president.
Why?
It's the same. It's
not.
called
Same
partisanship.
philosophical
It's
commitment.
What you're
the degree of
differentiating-
seriousness is significantly different.
The degree of seriousness has nothing to do with the general practice of politics played by both parties. Partisanship across the board. Both of them do the same thing. Now, all you're saying is, well, it's different because it's a different situation.
No.
Different situation, same tactic.
Both of them play partisan. I agree.
That's
Different
exactly
situation,
that's it. That's
same
I
tactic.
agree.
So now
Both
you're
of them play
complaining
partisan.
because
No.
the
Well,
Democrats
how do you
are using
solve
the
that,
same
then?
tactic to do something
Well,
that
how
you
do
don't
we
want to
solve
get
that?
done.
How do we
I don't
solve
even
that?
start
that in part
I
by
don't
the-
even understand why we're even debating this. Why shouldn't you be happy? I mean, this is what President
Part of the
Trump
reason
asked
we're
for.
debating this is because we right here are part of
This
the
is what-
problem
but
power.
This is what President Trump asked for. Didn't he get on TV and ask and boast and say loudly that why doesn't Nancy Pelosi hold the vote? Well, she held the vote. He ain't happy. You ain't happy.
Oh, I'm fine with the vote. Nancy
Oh,
Pelosi
okay.
just said she wanted the majority. She wanted to be bipartisan and a majority bipartisan.
But you
That's what she
can't.
wanted. Well,
Hold
that's
on,
what
hold on,
she
hold on,
wanted.
hold on.
She didn't get what she wanted, but she
you
gave the
can't do
president
that.
what he wanted,
You
which was a
cannot
vote.
do
And
that
don't
when
be
you
mad.
have
Wait,
a
I want to hear this.
president.
Please
with that.
allow
Here's
that
the point.
observation.
In all honesty, you would be expecting them to have a conscience because we have a president who punishes people for not having absolute loyalty. So let's be clear. If you were a Republican and come out on the side for impeachment, it's career suicide. It is, unless you're not going to run again. And we've seen Republicans speak out who have chosen not to run again. And that's the truth. This president demands
Senator
absolute,
Flake in Arizona,
absolutely,
specifically.
Jeff Flake, absolutely,
Okay. And
absolutely.
That
You've
same
seen
level
members
of
of your
loyalty
party.
was required under the Obama administration.
All you're
How?
saying is
So,
it was bad
it is.
then,
It
but
is.
it's not bad now.
No. If you're going to punish people, that's bad all the way around. People need to be free.
What was
However,
Obama's impeachable offense?
I did.
There was no offense worthy of impeachment.
Well, there was.
Oh,
there
yeah,
was,
there was.
according to the GOP, the tan suit that he wore.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
that
Thank
was
you,
that was the
Pat.
biggest.
I
We're
didn't
gonna-
know what it
I
was.
don't- I don't have-
Facts
I don't have
here,
time
facts
to
there
go
that
down
prove
this
to your
rabbit
point.
hole.
No, I'm going to speak.
Don't have time to go down
Part,
this
part
I'm
of the
gonna give you the last
part of the
thought.
problem right here is exactly what we're demonstrating. The fact that you guys all have to keep your mouths going and not just shut it for a minute to hear each other. The microcosm mirrors the macrocosm. And the fact is that we can't be non-bipartisan, we can't be bipartisan because there is always going to be an us and a them. The language that was used here by every single one of you demonstrates that. It is impossible for America to get out of this, and we demonstrated that right here in the last 15 minutes.
Allow, please.
And I'm proud of it.
Allow,
I'm
please.
not. I don't think we all
Okay.
demonstrated that.
Okay.
And that's the difference. I think we really have differences of opinion, and we have to be able to talk about that. I can hear you and respect you and disagree with you. And we're still sitting here.
Yes,
That's the
exactly.
point.
I want to say broadly, America, I wish you could feel the energy that is sitting here. And the reason I wish you could feel the energy sitting here is because I think the big story is why this energy is being generated in this way. Look, the nearly at the end of the privileged white guy thing in the gay community, I have never seen this before, ever, ever. This
the big-
kind of energy of communication and our political thought. I went through George Bush and Katrina. I watched Ronald Reagan in AIDS. I watched George Bush and Iraq. this is something new. And I only try to calmly focus attention that something super serious is going on here, maybe even dangerous. And that we should try our best to take a step back and listen. My questions of Joe are much more not of what his opinions are, but why the Republicans have these opinions, this absolutist point of view. And the best that I can do, and other Republicans we've had on this show, is to say, I'll grant you that the Democrats did it in this time or this time or this time exactly the same. But this time, it's different. And I close this conversation of the many conversations that we have ongoing about impeachment. We're living in dangerous times. You should be paying attention.
Now, play the puppies, Jared.
Let's move on to headline number 2. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I want to skip over headline number 2 completely.
Probably because it was too hot.
Gotta cool off around here.
We were going to tell you about
cool off.
Donald Trump being booed at the Madison Square Garden event, and who cares? Headline number 3. The claims of homicide are not suicide with the Epstein case. We have, I believe, a video that we're getting ready to show an interesting turn of events while he was in prison of what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Watch this.
So let's move on to Jeffrey Epstein now. Explosive news in his death. In an interview with Fox News this morning, pathologist Michael Baden said he believes that his injuries look more consistent with homicidal strangulations than suicide. However, the chief medical examiner has responded in part with the following. Our investigation concluded that the cause of Mr. Epstein's death was hanging and the manner of death was suicide. There's no reason for a second medical investigation by our office. So what happens now? Could we see any legal action?
Well, look, it's really important to point out a few things. First of all, Dr. Baden was actually hired by Epstein's family to do an independent analysis as to his cause of death. Second of all, he didn't actually perform the autopsy. He only observed it. And also, in that interview this morning, he said he couldn't make a conclusive determination about cause of death because he needed more facts. Interestingly enough, Mario, everybody thinks the medical examiner just looks at the body, does the autopsy, and makes the determination. But it's actually a full picture that requires an investigation. So next steps for the Epstein family is going to be determined by what comes out of that investigation and what other facts are out there.
Well, is that news interesting? When it broke in our production center at It's Happening Out, we all went, what do y'all think? Jeffrey Epstein, real quick, please.
Didn't somebody, I had read, and now I don't know if it's fake news or not, that he had a relative that was part of the process of determining if he was actually involved in it or that it was suicide. I mean, at this point, I don't know what to believe when I read anything, but I want to turn to any of you. Have you heard any of that? Is that something
Listen, there's conspiracy theories on both sides. They say, the Republicans say that the conspiracy is that there's photos of Jeffrey Epstein with every single Democratic leader. And then on the Democratic side, there's photos of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, come on, guys. Everyone had their eye on Jeffrey Epstein. Anyone could be at fault right now, and I will wait until the end of the investigation to put my voice in.
There's conspiracy theories that he's alive. Somebody said they saw him on some island somewhere, so now
Elvis and Tupac
that's floating around.
Elvis has left the building. Is that what you just said?
I just hate that there are women that may not end up finding justice behind this. And how do we keep an eye on the real victims in this case? And it's not Jeffrey Epstein.
I agree. And there was a recent Project Veritas video of a silent mic with an interview of Amy Robach on ABC News, where she talked about the story of Jeffrey Epstein that she had done and validated all the sources 3 years ago, and the ABC would not let her air the episode, and she got big pushback from the palace in England and from the Clintons because both Prince Andrew and Clinton were identified. Those are just two names she quoted in this interview. I think the larger question is, why did it take 3 years and Jeffrey Epstein now to do it when ABC, Matt Lauer, Harvey Weinstein, and all of those they were investigated many years ago, and they were kept silent for years by ABC.
Oh my God,
I
it's
think
a
that's-
bipartisan conspiracy.
Money and power.
Wait, did we talk
Money
about
and
that
power.
at some point?
All right. Well,
anyway,
Oh, All I know is I saw the video of Trump dancing with Jeffrey Epstein, not Clinton. So,
all right. Let's move on to our final headline this week. And I thought this was interesting because rarely do you see a conservative associated with Donald Trump cry. Rarely. I try every single week to make Joe cry. Every single week. I don't seem to be able to accomplish it. Interesting. Donald Trump's, one of his judicial nominees, was branded basically as anti-LGBT, Lawrence Van Dyke. And during the hearings, in the criticisms that came from lawmakers about his anti-LGBT stances, he began to break down. Take a look at what happened here. It's interesting.
The letter also says that you would not commit to being fair to litigants before you, notably members of the LGBTQ community. Can you speak to that? Did you say that you wouldn't be fair to members of the LGBT community?
Senator, that was the part of the letter. I did not say that. No, I did not say that. I do not believe that. It is a fundamental belief of mine that all people are created in the image of God. And they should all be treated with dignity and respect. Senator,
can you commit today to this committee that you will treat, if confirmed, that you would treat every litigant who came before you with respect and with dignity?
Absolutely, Senator. I would not have allowed myself to be nominated for this position if I did not think I could do that.
Including members of the LGBT community and any other community that has been historically disadvantaged in this country?
Absolutely, Senator.
Well, a very rare moment for me to watch. Now, before we even say a word, I want to get right to the heart of the believability of this moment. I want to do a quick flash poll of our hosts. I'm asking you to say yes or no. In that moment of what you've watched, what you know about this, is your first reaction, do you believe him? Yes or no? Joe?
Yes.
No.
Josie? No?
No. No.
Napoleon? No?
No.
Nick?
No.
No?
No.
Power?
hell no.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Now, any thoughts here in terms of what we've just watched?
It is very easy to cry on command. That is not that difficult of a process. Him being emotional. I mean, if Trump were going to comment on it, he'd call him a sissy little bitch for like whatever he's doing and displaying emotion and being human. But it's ridiculous that emotional response could even potentially change the jury vote.
Other thoughts?
Yes.
My confusion with this is that's actually the basis to be nominated right now in this administration is to be anti-LGBTQ. So I'm confused because that's why he's at the table. And that's why what's happening right now in our judiciary is so dangerous because he's one of how many anti-LGBTQ judges that have now been placed on the bench.
Which proves once again that elections have consequences. I mean, when you look up this man's history, once again, actions speak louder than words, and actions certainly speak more than tears. When you look up his resume, his body of work, it is all anti-LGBT. So I'm not going upon what he says. I'm going upon by what he has done.
So your point is before people vote for a judge to actually check what their votes have been in the past.
Yes,
Do a little
where their
research.
stands have been, where their positions have been, where their platforms have been, what their ideology is. And when you look at this man's record from being given a rating of not qualified from the American Bar Association. 2013, when he was a Montana Solicitor General, signed on to a brief supporting that states bans on same-sex marriage. argued for the right of a photographer to refuse service to gay people. He was involved in a case where the group he represented held the position that society has the right to discriminate against LGBT people. But then you want to get up here and say, well, I'm not going to discriminate. How do we know that? We're going by your past.
Yeah. The words.
Actions speak louder than words.
Okay, and I have an obligation of the one yes believe.
Yes, and many of those things you cited happen to be based upon faith-based individuals. And on a faith-based perspective, you cannot, that he has the right. Individuals, if it's a photographer for a wedding and they do not want to photograph a gay wedding, they have the right not to.
By faith-based, you mean
they don't.
religious
Listen, I don't have a problem.
By
That's an
faith-based-
argument.
By faith-based, you mean religious discrimination.
No.
Yes, that's exactly what
that's
Listen, I don't have a problem with an individual choosing whether or not they hire a photographer who is LGBT. Listen, it's your wedding. You create the wedding of your dreams, whether that includes LGBT or not. However, when we're using that as a basis to discriminate against any one individual, that's where we are finding the problem.
Judge,
So
please
you're
let's
in
remember.
favor-
Please let us remember that according to faith, and I'm a Christian, but the Bible was used.
Thank you.
The Bible was used as a faith-based reason to support slavery. So if we want to go back and say, well, faith-based should be protected to be able
And the
to
Bible was
discriminate.
also used as a faith-based reason to abolish slavery. So you have to balance.
The fact of the matter.
But no, wait, hold on, Joe,
That's why there's a division.
wait, please, y'all. I have an obligation to focus on his point and your answer. The observation that has just been made is the Bible is allowed to be used to justify whoever is in power to decide whatever they want. Your answer is it also was used as justification to overturn it when that person was in power. But broadly, the point here I'm asking for your clarification is if he's going to use faith-based standards because Donald Trump or whoever is appointing a judiciary like Lawrence Van Dyke, he's a representation that somebody is interpreting the Bible of justification now. What you've just said is later somebody will overturn it.
You're talking about as a point of justification. That is not how it is used. It is a matter of the Constitution and the right to religious freedom and practicing religious freedom. So what you're telling me in your points is that I no longer can practice my faith, okay, because you've taken a perspective that my faith is wrong in what I believe. But you don't have that right.
What the Republicans are doing to the Muslims right now?
Does not protect. Listen, and this is what we're still debating, and this is what is still being regulated and fought in courts up to the Supreme Court. The question here is: does the Constitution give your faith the right to discriminate against other people? And if it does, then it gives them the right. That's a slippery slope. It's a hold on. That's a slippery slope, because if you can discriminate against somebody based on sexual orientation, you can then discriminate them based on your faith, on when it comes to their race or anything else.
May I?
That is what is being.
May I? Before anyone else says anything, I apologize for putting you on the spot, Joe. But to help other people in terms of a Republican point of view, that's the value at this moment. Can you explain to a viewer how the justification of the religious implementation to discriminate based on their faith comes before sexual orientation discrimination? How do they justify that?
It has to be a very, very specific instance where the practice of your faith, your practice of your faith is inhibited or
meaning Christianity. If you're
whatever
Christian,
faith.
religion.
No,
the
it's only
practice
that.
of your faith is
only
hindered,
Christian. It's only ever Christian.
or it is I forget. Sorry, wrong word. By whatever the interaction is. If you're compromising your faith, then there's a question there. If it is not a matter of compromising your faith or your actions of your faith, then you have no right to discriminate.
All right. That being the case, understood, acknowledged. That being the case, the next president of the United States, Senate and House, appointing judicial judges that agree with them, because that's what they do, says we are going to broaden our definitions of separation of church and state, and you no longer have the religious exemption. And if they're in power and can make that decision, why is that wrong? It's exactly the same thing in reverse. Why is it wrong in that instance?
I don't necessarily understand what you're asking.
My question is,
Because
you're
everything is a
saying
specific instance.
you're saying in this instance the president has the right to appoint Lawrence Van Dyke. I'm acknowledging he does. I'm acknowledging if he's anti-LGBT, he can do whatever he wants. Exactly what Power pointed out, and justify that religious freedom is more important until the next person in charge that has the power to appoint via Senate confirmation or House confirmations a Lawrence Van Dyke that says, no, you can't. And the Republicans would argue, which comes back to my point of what happened in 12, 13, 14, and 15, whoever is in power gets to make the decision. They interpret the Supreme Court.
The difference in what you're saying and what I'm saying is you're making a blanket statement. And the courts have already established that you cannot make that blanket statement. In the case this last year with the baker, it was very clear you cannot make a blanket statement of discrimination. That was resolved in favor of the baker.
That only happened because of the influence of what happened in a Republican-controlled Senate of the people that they nominated in the final term of Obama. That's why they sat and would not appoint, or they would not affirm Obama's final nomination. Everything would have changed. Every interpretation you're talking about as justification would have changed. It's just who's in control.
It's not clear that it would have.
I think it is. It's a 5-4 split. It's been a 5-4 split. I mean, that's where we are in this country.
Well, it's only a 5-4 split because we were held back from being able to get an actual fair jury from being in the Supreme Court.
Here, and in all due respect, and I'm going to call this.
Statement.
I'm going to call the bullshit. I'm going to say that the issue is this moment is why President Trump is going to lose the election. Because the Democratic viewpoint, whether you like the Democrats or not, is a growing philosophy. What happened in Kentucky of a 25% increase in the gubernatorial, it's not one thing. It's all of these things of going, this is crazier and crazier and crazier, and the crazy moves to dangerous. And we're not going to accept it anymore. And as a result, a tidal change is coming. A tidal wave is 1,000 miles away, and nobody can see it yet, but it is barreling toward the United States of America.
We're losing who we are. And the idea that we're debating whether or not, separating church and state is even a viable conversation is ludicrous, because that is what our founding fathers set this country up on, that exact foundation. It's a separation of church and state. We're seeing it right now
That's never
in the
existed, Josie.
administration.
There's never been a separation of church and state. That was a myth. It never, ever existed.
There has always been a separation of
All right.
Is that why
I apologize.
allegiance?
If y'all do not mind, I'm going to kind of hard stop the conversation. And I want to finish the show in Shag, Marry, Chop. Let's play one more game, because I'm dying to find out who Nick is going to shag, marry, and chop.
She's
I'm
home.
dying. Okay. She's home. All right. Let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. And because I have the midday host review, I do not even know who is in Shag, Marry, Chop at this moment. So it's going to come up now to you, America, just like to me. And this is our game of Shag, Marry, Chop. Let's go. We are playing Shag, Marry, Chop of Neil Patrick Harris. Oh, we're doing beards. That's what we're doing. Neil
November.
Patrick for November. Testicular cancer. recognition and honoring Jay Hernandez and Shamar Moore. Shamar Moore. All right, who wants to start? I'm saving Nick for last.
Okay, I'll start. I'll
Josie,
start. I'll
go
start.
ahead.
I'm totally shagging Shamar. Okay, that man is so hot. I can't even control myself. Babe, sorry. All right. I am totally marrying Neil Patrick Harris because we're like lost souls passing in the night. And sorry, but I gotta chop you, Jay Hernandez, and you're really cute, but I have to stop you.
Who's next?
Sounds like I'm going to go, but I haven't really made up my mind.
All right, then I'm going to turn to Joe. Joe, who are you doing?
I am definitely going to shag Jay Hernandez. I am going to marry Shamar because I've been in love with him for the last 8 years. And sorry, Neil, you're gone.
He's gone. All right. Now we come back to Napoleon. Are you ready?
I'm
the
ready.
jury's out.
I'm ready.
Come
I'm
back.
ready. Well, I'm going to shag Shamar. His voice alone is enough. I wouldn't even need to see him, quite frankly.
His
But
voice.
also,
Even this video is not the best that I've seen him.
I'm hearing in my head right now.
You gotta see him coming up out of the ocean.
Yeah,
It sounds like I do need to see that.
All right, Mary.
And then I would marry Neil Patrick Harris. I'm Napoleon Plays, and he is one of the most playful people that exists.
You like sarcasm?
Am I friends with you? Actually, that's like a triple-edged sword right there.
All right.
Am I?
And who are you chopping?
I'm gonna chop Jay.
Oh, Jay's gone. All
Sorry.
right.
Jay
He's
can't
the
get
bad
any
boy of the group,
love.
by the way. He's the bad boy.
I don't need any more bad
Power, who are you shagging?
Well, I am going to shag Shamar Moore.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to shag him. I'm going to marry Neil Patrick Harris because he looks like he'd be fun. And
He raises his eyebrow.
I'm going to give the ultimate chop to Jay Hernandez. Don't see it at all.
Oh, I will take him and chop him.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, and I can't wait this entire show. I've been waiting on Nick because America, the Southern director for the HRC, normally doesn't participate in games like this, so we are very
South
honored.
Florida, co-chair.
All right, here we go. Shag.
You know I'm going to give lawyer answers here.
And the host of It's Happening Out is going to pick the lawyer
Oh
to
my
pieces.
gosh. So I'm going to shag Neil Patrick Harris because we both don't want what the other person has. So chances are nothing would happen and it would be really
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I don't
The
like boys
attorney
like
figured
that.
out how to
No.
shag without
I'm gonna go with
shagging.
shag. I'm going to shag
That
with no
is why
shagging.
she's the director of the South for the HRC.
awesome.
Very
Right.
political
Co-chair,
answer.
South
Okay,
Florida.
All right. Debbie
Sham-
Wasserman Schultz would be very proud of you.
Yeah,
right
thank you.
All right.
Shamar Moore, I have to give black love. I'm going to marry Shamar
Black
Moore.
love.
I
Wait.
gotta- yeah, I got to
Wait.
give my black love.
That is very racist.
Oh my
of
God,
you.
not even close, not even a little bit.
Coming
Nick,
from the
I'll
one who
punch
can't
him. Let me
recognize
know.
one black person.
Yeah,
from the other.
Right, exactly.
What was that, Nick?
Make that two.
Yeah, and I don't even know who Jay is. Jay's cut.
Exactly. Goodbye.
All right. Well, I'm going to weigh in on this
Yeah.
one because I kind of like this one. This is going to come as a surprise. I am shagging Jay Hernandez. And the reason I'm shagging him, I like Shamar. I've seen many things that he has done, but Jay Hernandez is so sarcastic. It's like, that is so sexy of this arrogant. I know. Oh my gosh, I've taken a page out of the Aaron Phoenix handbook. Oh dear. You know who I would marry? Neil Patrick Harris. And you know why? Funny. Funny survives.
Because he's not black.
Smart, funny.
That's
And
good.
Shamar would be my trick on the side.
Shamar's pretty funny.
Yeah,
You need a-
but Neil Patrick
Get a
Harvey.
chop. Let's put that next to
chopped
and
him.
mistress.
Samar would be your DL.
Yeah,
He'd be your DL brother.
Yeah,
That's
my-
racist.
Caller Infinity just
That's
told me
racist.
that the black guy's going to be my DL brother. I can't win. I just can't win.
Side.
All right, America, that is our show tonight. Woo! It's been a little touchy. It's happening out. I assure you, we'll depart friends. It's quite tense.
I'll
Aaron
punch
Phoenix.
him later. Don't worry.
Aaron Phoenix, we missed you, and I know
Oh,
Aaron
my.
Phoenix is mad that he wasn't here tonight. I have to
I
say,
kept my cool throughout the whole show. Fuck what Napoleon said.
right. We have to thank Nick Harris. Nick, you have been great.
Thank you.
What a pleasure having you here. We're gonna help support the HRC's big dinner in January.
January 11th.
Yeah, and I can't wait to do that and work with the HRC. You know you have allies and friends, and it's happening out for sure. We always end our show with doing some pizza, and why don't you come on in and remind us who we have with us tonight?
Mark from Jets Pizza.
This is Mark. And it's the Cauliflower Jets Pizza.
And this is Mark.
And it's Mark.
Yeah, man.
Mark, thank you very much.
Mark,
this is,
thank you for bringing that cauliflower.
This is one of the best.
People up here might be a little hangry.
A little hangry. That's funny. From Jets Pizza. We always close our show with some good nights. We try to heal the wounds of some of the conversation. And let's start with my friend Joe Bruckman.
Hey, in the words of Sister Sledge, we are family. Love one another. Let's talk. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
And my friend Chef Josie. I don't know.
I was Chef Josie.
Jeff.
Listen, I have a bigger dick than everybody on this.
Woo!
Not me.
And,
All right, so I'm going to shag you and then
That's
marry
right.
you.
You want to shag me.
to tell me that, okay? That's a queer woman of color.
Our queer woman.
Say
Queer
that to
black
me,
woman,
okay?
yes.
We're clear.
Right.
Anyways, I just want to say good night, compassion. Have it on yourself, have it on your loved ones, and those you can't agree with, come back next week and continue to grow with all of us.
You know, I have to say, before I go to Napoleon,
Of course.
I have become such good friends with Josie, Chef Josie. She's had a couple tough weeks, and you have more friends than you can ever possibly remember. Don't you ever forget how many great friends you have with you. I'm one of those standing up for you. And to my friend Napoleon Plays.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to be surrounded by screaming idiots, and all you can do is do your best to listen, and we hope to show you that here. So remember to play every day, every way, especially where it's most important.
And to my new friend, Nick Harris.
Brene Brown says you have to choose courage or comfort. You can't have both at the same time.
Awesome.
I'm betting that America is going to choose courage.
Courage.
Yes.
And by the way, I remind you, America, Florida is a red state that is kind of turned a little purple.
We are purple.
We're a purple state. I just
Okay, all
We're a purple
right.
state.
We could argue like we've done all
night.
But I want to put an exclamation point, a highlighter on Nick Harris. We have only one Democratic cabinet member in Florida. Florida is the pinnacle key to the 2020 election. And we have only ever had one paid position from a representative at the top in Florida for the LGBT community, and that person is sitting in front of you.
Very first time.
We
Thank you.
congratulate that.
See
and
what
your
happens when you
participation.
vote in Democrats. It turns blue and rainbow color.
Yes.
There you go. So.
That's right. And to my friend Power Infinity. Oh, wait. I want to say something before Power says goodnight. Power is dressed this way. I was going to do this at the top of the show, but everybody talked over me, so I couldn't do it. Power is not in drag tonight because last night he is responsible for the entertainment committee program at Tampa Pride, one of the preeminent Pride events in the United States. It will be the last Saturday night in March. And he had to drive down today to do the show. We always thank him. And in exchange, we say, oh, please, we really want you to come, even if you don't do drag. And Power Infinity shows up in fierceness, whether he's in drag or whether he is out of drag. I'm very excited to announce this just happened today. Power Infinity and his influence. It's happening out the last weekend in March. We'll be going to one of the preeminent prides in the United States, Tampa Pride, and we'll be broadcasting Power Infinity's Pride live to the nation. We're excited to be coming to Tampa. Tampa, get ready for all of this.
I'll actually be there
Hopefully
too.
only a little bit of some of this.
To my friend Power Infinity.
Yes, honey, I'm bringing my Fort Lauderdale family home.
That's right.
So anyways, children, good night. Remember, in less than a year from now, it's time to cast your vote, and no better place to keep up with the issues that affect you than right here on It's Happening Out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Work.
America, we constantly say we think the show is important because we're trying to find if gay culture exists. Does gay community continue to exist? And there are many important things that are challenging us. My conversation earlier and all of their conversation earlier, as fierce and as intense as it gets, is designed to defend our democracy, regardless of which spectrum end you represent. We invite you to participate in our conversation and share our conversation with the world. Because for the gay community, this kind of conversation is not going on anywhere else. The next 12 months are important to you, and we continue to show you why. So if it's important to you and your gay community, remember, it's happening out. Good night, America.
Good night.
Give me a hug.